What's up, guys? It's Gardy B with the Jenkins and Jonez show. As always, I'm here with my good internet buddies, Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
What's up, guys?
Jethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, bubbas? And if you fuck with us, you want to see more of our content, please jump on YouTube and subscribe to our channel.
In addition to spooky season, it's also I'll do whatever the team needs season for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I wanted to ask you guys, because this Lakers team is unique. Guys our age, fans our age, grew up with all these dudes. And I don't think there's ever been an NBA roster that you'd say you knew the characters on the team better than this Lakers team, right? That team photo looked like an all-star photo from when we were, 25 years old or
like
whatever.
a draft, you know what I'm saying? Like the NBA draft, like picture they take, yeah.
So here's my question. Bron said he sees an energy shift. Carmelo saying he'll serve whatever role the team wants. Rondo said at media day last week, if he needs to play 40 minutes a game or sit 40 games in a row, he's there for whatever the team needs. Russ has obviously talked about, I understand I'm going to need to have a different role with this team. It's the season to say that. Do you believe those guys? Do you believe that's going to work when we're playing and it's January 15th? And these dudes they're a little sick of each other, or they're in a stressful game and you really only can't have one guy take the lead. Do you really believe it's going to work the way they're talking about it working right now?
Yes, I absolutely do. Because I think that players in Bron, they trust. They know if you lock in and you play ball in Bron's vision, you're going to get a fucking ring. I mean, if Bron turned J.R. Smith into a worthwhile playoff contributor, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like until. But that third quarter in Game 7, bro, they probably don't win the ring without without those like 8 points from JR in that quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that players genuinely, I don't think that's just, cliche talk. I think they genuinely believe that, if we lock into this and we play our parts and we kind of play ball in the vision that Bron has, vision for us, we'll get a ring. And I do think that they're not just saying that shit. I think that Russ and Melo are being truthful here.
I think, like, when you look at the team, it kind of reminds you of 2004 a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not 2004. You know what I mean? Like, nobody likes fucking Karl Malone. Fuck that nigga. You know what I mean? Like, all right. GP was kind of old, you know what I mean? But GP still had a little bit in him. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think, Russ is to that point that GP was at an end. And then Kobe and Shaq didn't like each other at that point. You know what I mean? But these players like each other. You know what I mean? With all that said, I have zero idea what happens in a big game, in a must-win situation, and motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And it's time to get some buckets, and do people go to what they have been used to doing their entire careers? You know what I'm saying? Does Russ put his head down does Russ in the moment have the composure to be like, you know what I mean? This ain't my moment. You know what I mean? I don't know. I do think so. Like, I agree with what Tyler said, but I'm not as certain as he is. But I think, like, throughout the season, yeah, in big moments, that's when I worry a little bit. You know what I mean? That's the only time I really think that it can get off the tracks a little bit. You feel me?
Yeah, I believe some of them more than I believe others. I 100% believe Carmelo Anthony is there to be a veteran leader, to play with his friend LeBron, to be LeBron's other guy in the locker room, and that I believe Carmelo will embrace. I mean, if you've been listening to his interviews too, it's like, this is the epilogue, if you will, to his career, right? And he wants a ring out of it. Let's hope
it's a Clint Smith epilogue and not a normal epilogue. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Let's get a real one in here.
But he feels like he put his career in, and that arc was almost kind of finished, is the feeling that I have. And so he's here but Russ is, Tyler and I are of the same mind. Russ is one of my 5 favorite basketball players ever. I love Russell Westbrook, but I don't know that I believe that if he takes an ill-advised shot at the end of a game, first of all, I can see him doing that. Absolutely. Right. And I don't necessarily know that I believe that if there's heat in the locker room afterwards, that he would love that. I want to see the best version because I'm a Lakers fan, but it's the same thing with Rondo. If you're really saying Rondo, if Vogel tells you we need you to sit 40 games in a row, you're really telling me you're going to be like, cool, let me make sure that Bazemore is, let me rebound for Malik Monk. You know what I mean? I just don't know that I believe that.
A man that spit in another man's face. I don't know if I believe that. You know what I mean? I do think like, I like you said, I believe certain people, but like, yeah, Rondo more than Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? I believe Westbrook way more. I think Rondo would be more of an issue if he were to sit out like 8 games, especially big games that need to be won. I don't see him being cool with not being in there playing. It's just not how he's built, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? He wants to get out there and be a dog and do dog shit. You know what I'm saying? But with this roster, do we need him to do that?
You have multiple Hall of Famers coming off the bench. You literally can't start all the Hall of Famers.
Right. So.
You know what I mean? So it's gonna be unique. All right. Last word. Obviously, we spent the last episode we had Matt Sullivan on for a very long conversation about vaccination in the NBA. That's pretty much the only thing that was discussed throughout media day all of last week. So we're going to leave the lid on that can of worms, I think, going forward. I did want to point out that the vaccination rate among NBA players is now up to 95%. So as always, and I think this is the case with America as well, when you talk to public health officials, there's some really loud voices that get a lot of headlines and a lot of attention. But most of the people you're talking to are in the middle of the two polar extremes on any subject. And as I think Jason Concepcion said, we'd be in a much better spot as a country if America was as vaccinated as the National Basketball Association at this point. So
Tyler, you said we were sitting at 51% on the group chat, right? We still around. Yeah. So
we're at 51%, like 170 million or something.
So we could, and that's not to obviously. I think it was. I appreciated having the conversation last week. We received a variety of feedback to the conversation.
Yeah.
Yep.
We knew though. We weren't blindsided by it. We 100%. Knew we were going into a shitstorm. So,
but I would point out. You absolutely could have headlines that's like, why won't America follow the example of the NBA? Mm-hmm. Get 95% vaccinated. So,
right.